Yo,
Uh-oh. Station, everybody, because we've got the great Herminio! Reyes Jr. is in the house. Good to see you, man.
everyone, apologize. A little technical difficulties to start the show already. But welcome everyone to the Big Herm Collectibles and Stargate, the Amazing Collected show. We have a special show today. For our monthly show, guru of everything we do here, coming in tonight in a second. Fargate, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Excited to have Uncanny Omar on tonight. So let's go ahead and get it started.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm just glad this guy's here. Let's bring him in. The Uncanny Omar. How's it going,
Thanks,
my
man?
Station.
It's going good. It's going good. Thank you guys for having me. I
Station.
appreciate it.
Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, did you call me a collected editions guru? Is that what I go by?
Well, I usually call you the unofficial Marvel consultant to the collected editions department.
Maybe, I don't know. Is that a title? I appreciate it.
Yes. Unofficial for now.
Unofficial. I'm good with that. Yep.
Yeah,
Maybe
man.
one day
I had this
official.
whole. Yeah.
Sorry.
I had
Go
this
ahead.
whole introduction. Can you guys hear me good?
Yep.
Hear me good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had this whole introduction ready and everything, and then I get technical difficulties, goes out the window.
It's okay. I've had that happen to me when I've had guests or people I'm interviewing, comic creators on the channel, and things just always break when you don't need them to break. It's technology, so it's okay. Roll with the punches, man. Roll with the punches.
You look okay now.
Yep. Yeah, man. So I've been on your shows a lot, your live shows and everything, in the chats and and all that. And so I was always wondering if you even remember who I am, because you have so many people in your chats now. It's hard to keep up. How do you keep up with all that now? I
do, brother. I do remember, because I remember your name popping up, and my co-host could not pronounce it, so I had to pronounce it. I was like, that's a Latin name. You can. I don't think you're pronouncing it right, but I do remember, man.
So Omar, how do you pronounce your last name? Just
my last name,
yeah.
Valdivieso.
One more time.
Valdivieso.
Okay, I probably would have butchered that.
Uncanny Omar is okay though.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I just go Uncanny Omar, and I know I'm good.
That's good enough.
The Uncanny Omar, like Jess says.
I'm good with that. So how did you guys meet?
Well, we were always in the chat together in the same YouTube channels, and and then Herm, started his channel, and I started watching. I said, you know what? We really need to do a collected edition show, because everyone wants to do the weekly singles. What's coming out Wednesdays? I said, yeah, there's other people who do collected edition shows, but we also can make ourselves a little different and focus on what you can pre-order that month, which a lot of people talk about pre-order, but there's not a lot of talk of where or hey, right now, go in DCBS or whatever and pre-order for this month before it's too late. Because so, and
Yeah.
you're an
Yeah, well,
inspiration for me to do the collected edition show. That's what you're the one of the inspirations that I said we need to do a collected edition show because of your show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, I remember getting back into comic books like 4.5 years ago.
Hmm.
Literally New Year's 2017, New Year's Day. It was my lady who said, "Oh, let's go to a comic book shop," because she knew I used to love comic books.
You
And
got a
from
good
there
lady.
on,
You got a good lady.
yeah, she is. She's awesome. She's awesome. She makes my thumbnails for my shows and everything, and
Oh, that's good.
she,
That's good.
yeah, she's my manager. You know what I mean? She yells at me when get this done, get that done.
That's the way it should be. That's the way
So
it should be.
yeah, so
One
your
thing,
show is one of the first shows that I started watching. I started watching a few people because there wasn't a lot of content for comic books at that time. There was, but not as much. And your show was like, I see all these you got the epics behind you and all these books, and I was just amazed with your library. And that's how I started getting into your show, not just the comic book show, but
Hmm.
actually comic books in a whole collected edition type thing. Was like, that was still new to me because I didn't see a whole lot of that when I was in the 90s growing up. We didn't have a lot of trades or nothing like that, at
No,
least
yeah.
in my hood, you know.
I think well, I was in the same boat. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, there weren't a lot of collected editions that weren't. We had something called graphic novels, but graphic novels took a whole new meaning in the early aughts. We had a trade paperback of Watchmen. We had a trade paperback, perhaps, of Sandman, and that really was about it. Maybe Batman Year One. Not a lot. Not a
Uh,
lot of trade paperbacks. Secret Wars. I remember those. Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix saga. But
Death of Superman was mine.
right, Death of Superman. They're very few and far between. And then in the early odds, it seems like, I always like to blame manga for this, but it is a lot to do with manga, the way that they were selling in the book market, particularly. I think the opportunity arose for Marvel and DC to say, hey, we can get some of our books out there in the book market. So they even started marketing smaller sized books. I don't know if you remember, but in the early aughts, they started marketing the smaller graphic novel line, Marvel and DC. Marvel even went as far as doing something called the Tsunami line, it was like Mystique and Namor and Runaways. Runaways, of course, being the only one that actually stuck. But they started selling those as part of their small graphic novel line, so they could put it in the manga section. But then they started doing something amazing. They started putting these books out, and you could kind of fill in those gaps. You were thinking, oh, man, there's going to be a volume 2 of this, and eventually they saw the need for having things collected. That somebody out there wants all of Iron Man collected in trade paperback format. So that was really cool that they started doing that. Now, in the 80s, they did the Marvel Masterworks, but that's what I like to call the rich folks collection, which is great if you collected it. But if you ever missed one, the chances of them ever reprinting it or trying to find it in the third party market was really difficult. Like trying to find those books in the third party was so hard. I love the Masterworks line. I think they're top tier, some of the
They are
best
very nice.
restoration, but the prices are so expensive. But then in 2000, what was it, 2004, 2005, we started getting omnibus editions. A couple of years later after that, we started getting Marvel Epic lines, and then DC followed suit with their own omnibus editions. Took them a little bit to kind of get to where they needed to. Like the first Death and Return of Superman was kind of a mess. It was a standard size with newsprint almost type of paper inside, and left out a bunch of stories with Supergirl. And eventually they got to where we are now. Like we have DC and Marvel omnis. But yeah, man, it's a great time to be a collector.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's so funny how now, like, you would think these big books that even though we get them cheap graphic novel or wherever we get them from, half price or 40% off, they're still pretty expensive if you get too many of them. You know what I mean? And we still have them selling out like within seconds and minutes and stuff like that. I think that's amazing. Why do you think of that has happened now?
Why do I think they're selling out?
Yeah, the
Or
way they in such
I
a
think
magnitude.
I think it's everything though. I mean, if you look at the market for anything, especially in 2020, 2020 was an interesting year, and that's to put it a positive spin on something horrible that happened, not just in the United States but worldwide. And it was people were at home. People needed something. I don't know if it was a necessity for hobbies. I don't know what it was. But then you had baseball cards going up, basketball cards going up in sales,
Pokemon.
books, books. People were fighting over Pokemon cards again. Video games were becoming scarce, physical video games. So, of course, comics were one of those things, and collected editions. People were getting new into the hobby. People, 2020 was a phenomenal year for graphic novel sales. A lot of that may have to do because people were at home needing something.
And you, and you,
and maybe me. It was like I said, it was a really weird year, man.
It was.
And now we're in 2021. The sales I think are still good. I think I tell you what, the publishers and the distribution centers were not ready for the demand of some of these books. So a lot of it are based on, there's an algorithm for making these books. There's not a magic number out there for DC or Marvel, not that I'm aware of. They say, okay, let's print 5,000 copies of X-Men Volume 1. If it sells out, and we reprint it. That's not the way it works. Usually what they do is they wait for pre-orders, and then from there, they have book orders. And the book orders are impossible to know. Those numbers are never released out to the public. So what Marvel and DC, what they do is they get all those numbers in, and then they decide to print extra for the people like in-stock trades or cheap graphic novels. Even though cheap graphic novels is now taking pre-orders, they sell books day of, or comic book stores, they sell books day of. So it's a difference, right? Like they print a lower print run for something like Moon Knight, just using that as an example, as opposed to something like X-Men. The number one most pre-ordered book was X-Men by Jim Lee, Volume 1. I'm sorry, Chris Claremont and Jim Lee, Volume 1, the reprint. It was the number one highest selling omnibus edition.
It wasn't this one?
I wish it was that one, but that one sold well.
Tell us the story about that one. Tell us the story about this one.
That one is one that sold well enough to get a volume 2, and then Amazing Spider-Man number 5, omnibus volume 5, is the biggest pre-order they've ever gotten. So that makes me happy that it's a volume 5 and it's a it's a Spider-Man title with a volume 5, because there for a long time they were really afraid of putting a book out there with a volume number, volume 2, volume 3, because anybody in the book market will tell you that volumes 4 don't sell as well as a volume 1. That's why Marvel started doing the whole renumbering, and then DC also started renumbering, even though it took them a little bit longer. So it's just part of the business. It's what they do.
And Marvel,
the smartest thing they did was what he's holding in his hand, is that Epic collection. To me, that's the smartest thing that a company has done for the American market, and that has released this thing called the Epic line, because the number is not on the spine. If you notice, like if you hold the spine up, there's no number. There's no volume 7, no volume 3, no volume 4. It's the title of the character and the title of this book collection. They put the number in the back, letting you know where this fits in chronological order. Meaning the book market doesn't complain like, well, it's a volume 7. We don't know how to order. So it's really, that was a smart move to do that. Because anybody, whether you worked at a comic book store or a magazine, newsstand, bookstore, wherever it is, you never order as many copies as a volume 1, number 1. Number 1 always sells, right? Number 1 Superman, number 1 Batman, whatever it is, that's the one that you order the most. And then you usually you start cutting your orders until you see the interest keeping. Like how many of your customers are going to keep getting this book in their their folder. So that was really cool. And then DC did it a couple of times with some of the Bronze Age books, but DC kind of does their own thing, which is cool to have two different companies doing their own thing.
Yeah. So, Omar, what's your favorite collected edition you have there behind you? Which would you say is your favorite?
Behind me? Oh, yeah. I have my Omnis are over there. These are my trades. But I love reading, so it doesn't matter.
Pick anyone. It doesn't matter. Trade.
I have a lot. I have a lot of Tom DeFalco's Thor here. That's some of my favorite years of Thor. Very underrated. Everybody says Jason Aaron, Walter Simonson, best Thor, which they are good.
I thought you were going to say Uncle Scrooge.
But no, Scrooge is on that side. I love Scrooge.
How many books do you think you have there in your library now? I've seen the tour of the whole basement. 20,000?
I don't know, man. That's a lot. I don't think I've kept count. To do like insurance, makes you take inventory. And I'm working on some kind of program with a friend of mine to do like an app to keep tabs on these things. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's fun to develop those things. But I don't know off the top of my head, honestly. I stopped counting years ago. Too busy reading, I think.
What I'm amazed what you do is you have all this knowledge in your head, and they actually go to you and ask you how to map out stuff. They
don't ask.
You tell them.
I ask them if, hey, would it be okay to put this in? Yeah. I think this book would be more complete this way. Or sometimes things get left out. And yeah, it's a really cool relationship. It's a lot different than, the relationship I have with DC. DC is more of a, they send me an email once a month with solicitations, and then maybe once every 3 months I'll hear back from my contact at DC with, I don't know, whatever.
Omar, I think what you have is probably a photographic memory, because you can name the issue and the panel and what like off the top of your head. It's got to be a photographic memory.
Yeah, for things that don't matter. For important things, absolutely not. What's my what's my kid's teacher's name? I don't know. I don't remember.
X-Men. What issue of X-Men and what page like that?
Chronological orders on videos. Like this man's got all these Spider-Man, Batman. He just did your
that I can do
the other day. So
that I can do, but telling me to go and pick up the groceries, my wife has to send me a text like, don't forget to pick up the grocery, even though we had talked about it several times. So it's like I use a part of my brain and not use another part of my brain. Maybe it all balances out.
It's like your brain wants to work when it wants to work.
It wants to remember all the fun stuff, not the
exactly
responsibility.
Yeah. For a few of my viewers who don't really watch your type of video, they like comic books or wherever they watch me. They always ask us to explain to them the difference between an omnibus, compendium, epic collection, absolute, complete collection. There's any like a quick summary you can give us to explain all that? And why do they have all that?
Why they have it is easy. That's price, right? Not everybody can afford a $100 book. Not everybody can afford a $50 hardcover. So the price points vary. Most trades are anywhere from $15.99, $12.99, sometimes $9.99. Image Comics does some $9.99 entry point trade paperbacks. They used to do a lot. DC used to do that too, but they stopped. Your trade paper.
Well, the per issue cost in a collected edition is a lot cheaper than getting a floppy.
Hey, what's up, James? What's that?
I was saying, one thing I like about the collected edition, is per issue. The price per issue in the Omni is a lot cheaper than buying, each issue individually. So that's one of the reasons I like collected editions.
It is, if you're into reading and the one thing I don't ever fault anybody for not collecting collected editions is, there's with comic books, there's a value to comics. collecting a number one of something, having Uncanny X-Men 137, or having Giant Size X-Men number one, or Incredible Hulk 180 or 181. Through the years, that will hold its value,
Right.
because it's the first appearance of a character. Whereas collected editions, I think although there are people that collect them, I always tell them, you just have to come to the realization these are reprints. I don't care what the market value out there is. End of the day, you're reading a collection of books that have already been originally printed, and what you're reading is something called a reprint. Shouldn't don't expect it to hold its value for $300, $400. That's more of a supply and demand kind of thing.
Right.
That's somebody needing something on eBay. They got the money, and you've got the product. So when people have asked me, like, do you suggest ever, buying omnibus for flipping, like to flip? And I'm 100% no, absolutely not. Don't do that. First of all, holy crap, they're expensive to begin with. I mean, if you got that kind of baller money, I don't know why you're dealing in omnibus editions, but whatever, you do you.
Doing it all wrong.
But and the second thing is they take a lot of space. They're not like a single issue. Single issues take the little thing, right? Put it in a sleeve, go ship it off to get a CGC'd. Omnibus editions, man, they're big. You got to put them somewhere. You got to store them somewhere. I guess if you have a basement, I don't know. But I always suggest people not to do that, just because you never know when the ups and downs are going to go from the market.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Omar. When did you switch from buying singles to only collected editions, and why?
2003. Because prior to 2003, I had stopped reading comics, and I took a break for a while, and I came back to comics with Morrison's New X-Men. But I think prior to 1999, as I was saying a little bit earlier, there weren't a lot of collected editions for things going back. And then I started noticing that they're collecting trade paperbacks of recent stories and stuff from the past. So I thought, well, I mean, if they're doing that and I just want to read them, I might as well get them that way.
Way to catch up.
And so I don't have to, I can read the stories that I missed, and I can read the stories that are coming out, and I'm just 6 months behind everybody. That is the thing that sucks about being a collector of collected editions. You are behind 6 months at the very least. So when everybody's talking about The Last Ronin, for example, giving spoilers away as to who The Last Ronin is, and your ass is having to wait until the trade paperback or hardcover comes out, whenever that's going to be, you get a little upset. But I mean, that's the way it is for the collected editions game.
Well, I was out of collecting for 25 years, so for me, it was good to get all these omnis to catch up on the stuff I had missed. I didn't want to track down 50 back issues of JMS Spider-Man. I have it in volume 1 and volume 2, nice 2 big books, and I have all the issues. So that's why I got into it.
See, and I think it's a great way to do that, like to relive your childhood. I think that's why they started collecting this different omnibus lines and absolute editions. You get like top tier kind of collected editions. But to answer your question, the big difference is that trade paperbacks are usually the cheapest way to get these. And then you can get standard size hardcovers. Those are a little more expensive, but they're as tall as a trade paperback. And then an oversized hardcover, which is taller than your standard size hardcover. And those range anywhere from $30 to $75, sometimes $100, depending on what oversized hardcover it is. And then you get your omnibus editions, and those have about 30 to 50 issues collected in there, but also ranging from 90. Usually the retail price, I've seen some for 75 recently, but things are going up. 75 to $150. Then there's absolute editions, which are like really nice. They come in a slip case. So
yeah, I always been asked question about the difference between an omnibus and a compendium, and I like to know your intake of that.
Just a different name.
A compendium is something that. Okay, so normally a compendium is a softcover edition that is standard size. However, I know Skybound Studios had a limited print run of their compendiums of oh my gosh, Invincible. So Invincible had 3 compendiums, softcover, available to everybody, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, your comic book store. But then Skybound themselves, yes. So that's a compendium, right? It says so right there. It says compendium 1. Skybound Studios, the people that put that out, Robert Kirkman Studios, had limited edition hardcovers, pretty much the exact same thing that you're having there, except it has a hardcover bind. And it was also more expensive, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same size. So if you hold that up, Bing Arm, that's the size of a comic book. That's the dimensions of a comic book.
So it's not oversized.
So they're not oversized. So that was one thing I'd tell people to keep in mind. However, just recently, IDW released their Lock and Key compendium. And that is as tall as an omnibus.
Really? Okay.
So the Lock and Key compendium is as big as an omnibus. It's not standard size hardcover. So that really changed up a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. If I can hold it up right, these are heavy.
hold it from the spine, like so people can see the
So basically, those are like soft cover omnis, but they're not oversized like an omni.
Right. So an omnibus is oversized artwork.
And then you have library editions.
Yeah, that's usually that's usually an Image and Dark Horse thing, which is almost they're about I would say that this a little bit smaller without the slipcase, of course, than the Absolute editions.
But they're taller than an omni.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the library editions, so
yeah,
they're definitely oversized hardcovers.
Whether it's Dark Horse or whether it's Image Comics, they are taller.
Yeah. I've got the 6-gun library editions, and they're real nice, oversized.
Yeah, those editions are bigger than your library editions from Image.
Black Science. You had the Black Science ones; those are huge.
Yeah, but Black Science fits in my Kalax. Those 6-gun,
really?
They're bigger. So Oni Press does their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you were talking about the ASM Volume 5. I remember being on the chats once, and David Gabriel, which is the president of the operations, the Marvel
Collected
Editions. He was on there, and I asked him the question, "Are we gonna get a Volume 5, omnibus?" And he answered yes. He answered me. I was all hyped. I was like, "Yeah, he answered me."
Yeah, sometimes he hangs out in the chats. He's a good guy.
Well, when I asked him about Spider-Geddon, he ignored me. Why was that?
Because I'm thinking you probably asked at the same time 50,000 other people were asking him different questions.
Or maybe I asked you every single day, where's the Spider-Geddon Omni? Every other event is getting an Omni. Where's my Spider-Geddon?
Surprised we haven't gotten a Spider-Geddon omnibus.
Oh, I guess we got a question.
A question to chat real quick. I know. Time is valuable right now.
Go ahead.
My man Phable, who's the music to my show, says, so would you say some of the terminology depend on the company, but it can be the same thing? Can it be the same thing?
Sometimes. Like I think there's DC has a thing with the absolutes. That's a DC thing. And Marvel doesn't, whereas DC borrowed the omnibus idea from Marvel being oversized and everything. I don't think Marvel wants to borrow that absolute. I wish they would, but because I like the absolute editions, but it's a DC thing. So I think sometimes, with Image, they don't put the word library edition on their books. They just put hardcover editions. And it's the same dimensions as a Dark Horse library edition. David Gabriel shows in the chat again. How can we make sure it's a real David Gabriel? I would text him, man, and say, "Is this really you, man, or is this somebody messing with me?" That's how we do it.
Or the real David Gabriel, please stand up.
Yeah, that's a little incident he was having. He had over the weekend, right? It was the weekend.
Yeah, last weekend, man. Yeah, somebody pretended to be a comic book artist. somebody that I really like. And
Sorry that happened, man.
oh, it's okay, man. It happens. It happens.
Yeah, I work overnight, so sometimes in the morning I won't make it to the time you guys come on. You and Melanie and
Oh
stuff. So
yeah.
that's why I haven't been on there lately. But I always try to catch it on the rewind because you guys are so cute and awesome. So
Oh, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, she's great. She's great, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So what videos got coming out this week? Any new announcements? Any new Omnis, Epics?
I'm waiting for Marvel to approve a couple of videos. They're mainly reprint videos of omnibus editions. Some really big ones that I think a lot of people have been wanting to see. And there's 3 omnibus I get to announce, and I'm just waiting for the assets for those. Like pretty much the covers.
A lot of Spider-Man announcements for next year coming.
Volume 6.
I think
Volume 1 reprint in the new spine format.
I think the Spider-Man announcements will probably be closer to September.
Nice.
Like in that, because that's 60, that we're talking
60th anniversary.
1962, so they do it around September. I think that's probably when they'll hit, kind of like when Captain America was supposed to hit in July for the 4th of July and the anniversary, but delay after delay mainly because of everything going on. The ports are closing. They closed in China, so they couldn't deliver the books out. So if a book was printed in China, it couldn't make it over here. So I'm thinking in that way they're gonna do Spider-Man next year like that, or Fantastic Four too, the way it was supposed to be done in August. However, things kept getting pushed back.
Yeah. So how many books out of you have all back there have you read? Have you read most of them or a small
Nah.
percentage of them?
I've asked this before.
Most of these. Oh man,
I had the same
think
problem.
For the most part, it used to be I could keep up, and I've read about 79-80% of my stuff. Now it's probably more like 61-62% I've read.
Really?
There's a lot of stuff that I get in, and then sometimes what happens is I have to stop reading and move on to something else.
Yeah, you got to do all these reviews now of new books, so
It takes a long time. I'm not complaining, but it takes a long time to read and get to know these stories.
It's all your fault that I have like these 50 Omnis, and I've probably read 3 of them. So it's like I'm severely backlogged, bro.
Spoken like a true collector.
It's like, okay, I can't. It's like, oh, I want that. Oh, 50% off pre-order. Oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. And then next thing I know, I said, damn. I said, it's going to take me 5 years to catch up. I'll be dead before I read all these books.
Nah. Just pace yourself, man. Make it a thing. I read every day. Every little bit I can sneak in, man.
I put this earlier. Is it true if Alf comes out omnibus, it'll sell out?
That's your new favorite Omni, right?
I think James is going to buy every copy of that book.
They should do it just to see what happens.
What omnibus or collected edition or anything you're looking forward to or hopefully that they would come out with in the future?
I think the easy answers, which I know we'll get one day, of course, it's just a matter of time. Uncanny X-Men 5. I'd like to see that, and probably the prelude to the Mutant Massacre. I would love to see that. Of course, I want to see Amazing Spider-Man 6, Fantastic Four 5. A lot of the classic books, the return of some Thor Silver Age books would be good for a lot of people that used to collect those. And
are we ever going to get John Byrne?
I would love to see Burns. Well, no, they've done Burns
Volume 2 reprint.
The volume they didn't reprint Volume 2. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I got Volume 1, but I've been waiting for the Volume 2 reprint.
They didn't do Volume 2. Of course, being a kid from the 80s and 90s, I like a lot of these characters that are now nostalgia, like Darkhawk or New Warriors Volume 3 would be cool. Sleepwalker.
Sleepwalker, yes.
Really?
I
Man,
agree with that one. Yeah, I
man.
grew up a sleepwalker, so yeah, I'm with you with that one. That'd be
I want to see. I
awesome.
want to see. I want to see classic Punisher War Journal stuff too, man. Punisher War Journal. That's the stuff I grew up with. Like, there's some good Jim Lee art in there. Some good Will Spertasio artwork in there.
Isn't that going to be the new Epic Punisher line? Those stories,
Well,
War Journal.
we haven't had an announcement yet for anything.
Because I
For
had the
Punisher.
hardcover, 2 of those War Journal hardcovers.
There was a complete collection of or I'm sorry, it was called Punisher War Journal Classics, but they didn't finish it out. That's the kind of stuff I want to see in oversized format.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot of the
Oh.
Ghost Riders. Ghost
When's
Riders was one of my favorites too, growing up. So
Absolutely.
What about Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man? When's that Epic starting?
I don't know. I don't think it'll be Epic first. I'm pretty sure they'll do an omnibus of that first.
Because I've been getting the Marvel Masterworks, but those, like you said, those are expensive. I want them to start doing the Epics.
I think the Epic will come later. I'm pretty sure that will get an omnibus treatment first. Just because the Masterworks have sold out and they've done all the heavy lifting, so that's just what I think.
All right. Oh, one last thing. Since you mentioned the Marvel Masterworks, you were talking about it Saturday about how they do the scans and redo the artwork, which is the whole basis for them to do future books in Omni format and Epic format.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if you want to talk about that for a minute, how they do that or why they do that, or a lot of people see these Masterworks and see they're expensive and they go, well, why?
So the Masterworks are expensive because of the restoration. When you're looking at things from the Golden Age, a lot of that artwork has to be scanned in, and a lot of it has to be colored from scratch. So it's not about just scanning a book in. It's about restoring it. That's what they did with the Fantastic Four Omnibus Volume 2, the newest printing. It's using the latest scans, which is wonderful.
I think these colors probably look better than they did when they actually came out the first time.
And that is the way to do it.
Yeah, that was nice.
I mean, the paper quality is thick and glossy. The colors, I mean, it's the best quality you can get, basically. Now, if they would just make it oversized. Now, the Epics, when they are oversized hardcover, so they're larger, but it seems like the artwork the colors don't pop as much in the omnibus. Have you noticed that?
It depends on which book are you talking about.
It just seems in general that if I compare the inking, the colors in a Masterwork, and then I compare it to similar pages in the Omni, I'm thinking, man, the colors, I don't know, maybe it's the quality of the paper in the
could be the paper.
Masterworks. It just looks better.
Yeah, it could be better, or it could be the paperwork that they're using.
So yeah, tell David to go back to the thick paper for the Omnis, because they're getting a little paper thin on those.
I mean, yeah, they could, but then the prices are going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I get 50% off pre-order. It's only a few bucks more.
You're going to take the bullet for everybody else?
Yeah, like Jess says, I'll take the bullet. I'll be the Jess Bragg for everybody.
They're going to
I'll take
blame
the
you
bullet.
for making prices go up.
Well,
I think it's about cost, to keep costs down, because everything goes up in price. But oh my god,
that's what
lumber
the
and
Epics are
paper
for.
have gone up so much; it's insane.
Yeah.
The Epic collections are going up to $45 from every.
Well, the Conan ones are for sure.
Well, Conan is $40 because they were originally $34.99 because they're smaller.
The Conans are checking up the price.
From the previews that I've seen, it looks like they're going up $5 more. So instead of being $30 or $40, it's $45.
Wow.
But
right.
just be glad you live in America, man. There's countries overseas that don't have any place like in-stock trades, cheap graphic novels, DCBS, that they have to pay retail.
Well, do you think maybe Marvel should set up
a factory
their own publisher?
They got a factory
company
over in Turkey, and they have to pay retail. they print the books, man.
I got my buddy again asked if the Barnes Namor ever come out.
Yep, absolutely. That was collected in the Omnibus edition, and it has not just John Byrne's artwork, but also has Jay Lee's artwork in there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Canada doesn't either. Like Canada doesn't have a place like In Stock Trades. I think they go to is it Indigo? Is that where you guys have like it's pretty close? I know there's a couple of comic book shops that are trying to open up like cheap graphic novels and In Stock Trades, but it's just really hard to keep costs down.
It really is. It really is. Out of this is my last question. I know you gotta go soon. Um, Out of all the videos you do, because you do so many, you do omnibus overviews, top 10 countdowns, Q&As. You talk about the reading orders you do and interviews. What's your favorite video to do?
Oh man, I don't know. I really like hidden gems, even though I don't get to do it that often because I'm drowning in other videos I'm trying to catch up on because they're time sensitive. Hidden gems is a lot of fun for me because I get to introduce people to some of the things that I don't ever hear anybody talk about or I don't hear enough love for. So I'm thinking, yeah, hidden gems is probably one of my favorite ones. I try to do it once a month, and then that doesn't really. I mean, I get a lot of love and a lot of enjoyment out of doing breaking news for Marvel, right? That's really cool,
I love it.
right? But that's how do I say it? Like, that's me in a suit. That's me just giving news out that it's not my own thing. Like it's my own way of delivering the news, but I get more out of like, oh man, this little comic book that came out 10 years ago. I don't think anybody really talks about. So I share that, and then people share their list with me. It's really cool. I like doing that type of video.
That's pretty cool. I like those. I like almost pretty much all your videos you put out, but my favorite is the news because that brings excitement. And I'm saying I can't wait to get in and watch Omar's video.
Yeah,
So
I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot of fun. A lot of people get a lot of joy out. Like I get a lot of nice comments and emails out of that because it gives you something to look forward to, and that's cool. And that's why I enjoyed looking at previews and solicitations, like looking forward to these things. Am I liking the new X-Men series? I'm in the Reign of X right now. There's ups and downs. I like Hellions. Hellions is probably one of my favorite X-Men series in a long time. Marauders is fun. X-Men by Hickman had its ups and downs. But man, Hellions. X-Force was good. X-Force was good. I think it had a little bit of a stump. I never really got into Excalibur. Like, it was a rough patch for like 8 issues. And then it finally started getting somewhere. Then they did the X of Swords or 10 of Swords. And that was okay. That started really good for me. I had a lot of fun with that. And it kind of just went downhill a little bit. So ups and downs, just like any other X title.
I
have one last question too.
Sure.
When is your what is it? The second quarter of 2022 Marvel previews show, your 2-hour epic show. I think that's the next one, isn't it? I think you did the first quarter already of 2022, right?
I think I did January to April, January to March, maybe.
So the next one would be the second quarter, right?
Yeah. Right now, DC's building their catalog, so I'm trying to get that information to make a video out of that. I think Marvel's will probably be. Thanks, man. Towards the end of the month or beginning of September. Yeah. Because that whole thing is fun to kind of put together and get that information.
I like that show. And if you need some guest host on that show,
ask Big Herm. Here.
Me too. Forget about Curtis and forget about the guy in
about my
England.
Epic guy. I love that guy, man.
Those guys are great.
We got Marcus from the UK, Curtis from up in Canada.
I know. Forget him.
Forget
me and Herm next time.
Curtis has a podcast I listen to and all that. I like his podcast. So
Curtis is a really good guy. He's a good, knowledgeable guy. I really enjoy him being on the show.
And I heard there's a new show coming off with Near Mint Condition.
Oh yeah.
New channel.
It was Near Mint Collective. Yeah, my friends and I. That's how Near Mint Condition started. And then we decided, when I lost my job and YouTube kind of became, which is crazy, I'm in my 40s and YouTube became my full-time gig. They decided to, step back and then they wanted to keep doing their own thing. And they finally came up with a name. So I think they only release a video every 2 weeks, every other Thursday. But um, I will be on some of those, not all of them, because well, I got near me condition to do.
And
So.
you still make guest appearances on Omni Bros Live, which I think found you on.
Yeah, from time to time. It's been. I never thought doing YouTube for a living or full time would be so time consuming. I'll be honest with you. Everybody gets excited about owning your own business or whatever, but you never meet anybody that owns their own business that works less than 18 hours a day, and that's the god honest truth. And the rest of the time, I'm sleeping. If I'm not thinking about the channel, I have to think about reading what's next, what video to do next, and looking the or messing around with YouTube to see what the analytics are. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully one day David Gabriel will bring you on full time, and you can help him run that department.
No,
and you will be making the decisions.
The goal is we got to go and fix DC Comics.
They're a lost
Marvel's
cause,
okay
probably.
right now. Marvel's doing good. We need to go and fix DC. They're doing better though.
Hopefully keep doing better. Like their stuff right now that they're coming out with the issues and all that. I'm enjoying their stuff now. So hopefully they come out with some good collections after that.
Yeah.
To get it rolling, because Marvel's doing pretty good, like you said.
Yeah,
So,
Marvel's been doing good, man. It's just it's DC that kind of needs some help, which I think they'll get out of this rut. I mean, for the longest time, I kept hearing DC is going to go close shop.
they're
You
done.
hear that. They're fine.
Exaggerating. I never thought that was true. So I'm glad they're doing
Oh
good
man,
now.
plenty of YouTube channels out there last year. Oh, the end of DC Comics. Oh, and I just try to keep it positive and real, man, until I hear something.
Yeah. So real quick, you want to plug anything from your show or anything like that, or anything future you're looking forward to? I'll give you the floor.
Thanks, man. No, thank you. Take this time to thank both of you guys for inviting me on. Yep, my channel is called Near Mint Condition. I talk about collected editions, reviewing them. Been reading comics for 37 years now. Whew, I'm old. And yeah, that's it. I got a video coming out every day, sometimes two. So that's Near Mint Condition. That's the YouTube channel. Big thank you to both of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Man, thanks for coming, man. And we
Thank
totally
you.
appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Keep doing a great job over there, because I'm still watching.
And we'll have to have you come back in a few months and give us an update on the collected edition market.
Sure, yeah. Just let me know. Who do I think will be the first official mutant in the MCU? It's probably somebody I don't.
Deadpool.
Thank God. It's probably going to be somebody like. Yeah, I mean, Deadpool is kind of a done deal, but the first official mutant, it's probably going to be somebody lame, like Gold Balls. Yeah, it's going to be Gold Balls, man, knowing my luck. Hey, gentlemen, have a great night.
All right.
Thank you all so much for having me on.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
We're probably staying on for a few seconds more to plug some stuff. So thank you so
guys,
much.
Absolutely, man. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Much love. Bye, everybody.
Station.
Man, that was amazing. Thank you so much again, Omar. His links are down below. Anybody from this show, who hasn't seen his show yet, I can't imagine anybody. But it happens. It's a big world. You know what I mean?
Sub to his channel. Yeah.
Yeah, sub to his channel. I got the link below. Of course, guys, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Ding
Subscribe
ding
to the
bell
channel.
for notification for future videos, so you can watch a lot of good content coming from here, from me and Fargate. We do have a show next week. I might as well talk about our show next week. I don't even have a regular thumbnail for that for that show. It's the regular one that we usually have. We might tweak it a little bit, but you guys already know. Next Sunday we'll have the original show coming out. I think what is it? The 9th, Monday the 9th.
Monday the 9th.
Like
yeah.
I think we're starting.
Today's the second. Yeah, the second Monday of every month is the new date.
The new date. So yeah, we starting it a little bit early. 6:30 p.m. I think we are.
That's fine. Yeah, we might start a half hour earlier.
half hour earlier. Yeah.
Definitely the second Monday of every month, because that way the previews will be up by then. Because for some reason it takes a few days for them to load it every month, and our pre-order shipments usually take to the 5th or 6th of the month to get here. So they'll just give us more time to, you know, make sure the previews are up on
Heck
DCBS
yeah.
and we have our pre-order shipments.
Yeah. So real quick. Mr. Fargate here was talking about earlier. Uh, uh, Big Herm to 500 giveaway. Grand prize is it's the Epic Collection and a Marvel T-shirt. Um, hey, if we can get up to 500, that'd be pretty cool. You know, a little giveaway. You know what I mean? But we got a bigger giveaway. I wanted to try to plug it as much as I can, but my man Sam's Tango, I have to fix this thumbnail. There's new stuff that to put on this list. We got another guy adding to this list. Yeah, man, we got the grand prize. Of course, I got a Marvel T-shirt, two homage covers of Amazing Spider-Man 700. It's ASM 400 and 300. And our guy, I might as well give you the really quick bow right there, giving away those two. Uh, what was it? Marvel team ups and volume 3 and 4, Masterworks, Marvel Masterworks. You already saw. They already explained. Omar and Fargate here was talking about the Masterworks and thick of paper, very expensive books. Very nice of my man Fargate to put that in the pot. And yeah, man. Yeah, make sure we get Sam to 1K, because Sam is an awesome dude. He should be in 1K real, you know, pretty fast and all that. And of course, real quick, I've had a video earlier, the Comic Time um unboxing. You know what I'm saying? It started off. I was testing these
Started off a
out.
little
You
shaky,
know what I mean? A little shaky started, but
a little
I
volume
hope
issue.
that shows like 25 minutes for a Comic Time unboxing, but I still enjoy and have fun. Check that out in the rewind if you haven't checked that out. This Sunday I might not have a show. I might not. I might have some family stuff I might do. But if I do, this Sunday will be another one of those. Let's talk about it. Chat Ask Me edition. Uh, where I talk to the chat and everything. We talk about news and whatever. And of course, I cannot never forget Whiplash Wednesday. You know, where my man Blame Phable show starts off the Whiplash Wednesday, our new comic book day, best day of the week. And then my man TM chatting with the community. He has a special guest, which is do I have it on here? Oh man, I don't have it on here, but next show I will. But our guy, JT, John Thomas, he's gonna come with
John
the
Thomas.
AI. The AI. He proudly proves that he's not an AI, but he is always gonna have the AI as a nickname. And of course, being Sam, we're gonna talk supervillains. You know what I'm saying? Part two, Spidey supervillains, part two. Can't wait to get uh that show going. Whiplash Wednesday. And of course, it ends with the Tomorrow Show. My man Chamorro, they're gonna be talking 90s comic, and the Road Trader is gonna be there, so that's pretty exciting. With a whole bunch of guests he's gonna have. That always we're the bridge to his show and all that. Of course, I always gotta plug my man Missing Link. You know what I mean? Because he's always missing. But we end up finding him somewhere. Where is he gonna show up? On Instagram. We don't know. The modern day Where's Waldo? My man Missing Link, Stefan, you're the man, bro. Uh, can't wait to see whenever you come on. And I guess that's it for now. Oh yeah, wait. I do have a special show, August 13th, Friday the 13th. My A big guy from the community. He's part of the PCP Army. You know what I'm saying? And we got ourselves live on YouTube. Everything Wrestling Talk. Friday, August 13th, 2021, 6 p.m. Eastern. My brother Joe, talk all things wrestling. Sam from Sam's Tangaway gonna join us for that show. We might have a few other guests coming in. Maybe the AI might come in. You know what I mean? He likes wrestling too. So we'll see who else we put in there. We got a nice show because it's all about Brother Joe. He's got a great story on his life in wrestling, signatures, and all that. Can't wait to do that with you, brother Joe. Um, I know I got a million a
Hey,
million things
Herb,
to plug. What's up?
I just want to plug my Instagram channel,
Yes.
Forget One. I'm doing kind of weekly hauls on that, but I'm also trying to do videos of different conventions I went to. There's a convention of the Dallas Card Show. There's one for a retro expo show, and next month I might be going to this toy show in Dallas, and I'll try to do some live streaming from that too. So trying to be a little different.
Yeah, man, I enjoy those. Everybody check it out. I don't know if my moderators are still in the building. Drop his link. His link is down in the link down below too. So
Yeah, it's
check out my
Fargate
man
One.
Fargate 01. Or Fargate 01, right? No,
I think it's
Fargate
just Fargate One on
on the
Instagram.
Instagram. Okay.
Here, so
Yeah. And of course I have one more to plug. I got my buddy. He's got a new podcast. I haven't even checked if episode 2 has come out yet, but I gotta check. But False Finish Productions, uh he that's a big wrestling channel he's a part of, and they got a big following. They're awesome. And he was nice enough to put me on his solo show. He does with his friends too. And the first episode, of course, is The Crow, which is an amazing movie and all that. So yeah, it's gonna be talking movies and all that in that podcast. Of course, it's Spotify or Anchor, soon to be on iTunes. So check out that right there. I think I have that link down below too, or not. I'm gonna add it to it. So that's another thing. He put, he sponsored me. Well, we sponsored his show, but really he did me the favor, and I'm in one of his commercials. It was pretty cool. So I'm in a commercial. You know what I'm saying? And you too. I think he mentions you too. He mentions Fargate in there. So
yep,
yeah. Anything else you want to add? This was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Omar. Hopefully, friend of the show. I
yeah.
should say friend of the show now.
Well, hopefully we can get him to come back, and maybe we'll get lucky and get the guest host on his show.
My man Mike 06 Station, my man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining on there.
So
Doris Tiger was here earlier. Station. You know what I mean? There goes Fargate's link. Anything else you want to add, Fargate, before we leave?
man, we need to get some more subs. We're still at we're at 308 now, so we're trying to get Herm to 500. So if you got some friends who aren't subbed to Herm's channel, let them know.
Tell
Try
your
to
friends,
recruit them,
you know what I'm saying,
pass it
your cousin,
along.
your aunt's friend, you know what I'm saying? Let
You know,
everyone know
like
we're
this
having
video, share it with
fantastic guests.
Omar. Yeah, share this one with
You
other
know what I mean?
people.
Yeah, share the video and all that. And yeah, man, I got more stuff. Like, I freaking can't wait, man. This been a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll bring him back one day if he wants to come back. And yeah, I have fun. I always take forever to end these. And my man, thank you again, Fargate. I always gonna thank my partners and all that for doing this with me. And of course, guys, have yourself an awesome week. I know it's Monday for a lot of you and the start of a work week, but guess what? Monday's almost gone. We got Tuesday, and then Wednesday comes, and it's
Yeah.
new comic book day, best day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What books are you looking forward to?
What book am I looking forward to? You just want to stay here all night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have many. Let me see. I'm gonna look at my list because I be forgetting sometimes. But yeah, I got hmm, Nice House on the Lake #3. Some Swamp Thing #6. Uh, from Marvel, of course. There's no Spider-Man this week. All right. No, yeah, Sinister War 2. I can't wait for that.
Yep.
Sinister War 2. You know what I
Definitely gonna get
mean?
that.
What else? What else? Stillwater comes out #9.
Oh,
Seven Secrets comes out. I enjoy that series. I'm a little behind it, but
well,
I'm enjoying.
I'll just let
Immortal
people
Hulk.
know. One last thing is my pre-order shipment is going to come in this week. I'm going to have 4 omnibuses to show on box, plus
Station
some.
too.
So do a little bit of unboxing of our shipments, and hopefully you get yours in too.
Hopefully, I literally got like 8 books throughout the year that they haven't sent me. 'Cause
All
I
at
try to
once.
order one a month or two, and I, when it's gonna get to me, I don't know these guys. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully, one of many awesome sit down interviews, whatever you want to call it, and all that. Guys, station. Peace out. Whenever it decides to start.
Come on, come on.